Last Thursday, the British Royal Air Force scrambled fighter jets to intercept 2 Russian bombers over the English Channel and escorted them away from Britain. The event seems to have raised fears in Britain of Russian expansionism, as newspapers in the UK have been running stories that are quite a bit more hawkish than usual. Today, we take a look at what the British media have been writing about this episode of Russian saber-rattling. First, we take a look at a piece from the Daily Mail, where Edward Lucas writes, "The drone of 2 Russian nuclear bombers passing along Britain's south coast and endangering our civilian airliners should be a deafening wake-up call to our leaders about the threat we face from Vladimir Putin's Russia." So why is Russia doing this? It may be to test Britain's response time and also to gather military intelligence. It could be retaliation, writes Lucas, for the sanctions on Russia over its aggression in Ukraine. Putin believes the West is finished, overstretched, decadent, and discredited. The truth is, we are not losing this spate of arm wrestles because we are weak, but because our willpower is weak. Next, for The Guardian, Timothy Garton Ash sizes up the situation in regards to Russia and offers this advice: Putin must be stopped, and sometimes only guns can stop guns. The time for diplomacy will come again, but it is not now. Garton Ash says what the international community needs to do now is ratchet up economic sanctions on Russia. Combined with the impact of fallen oil prices, writes Garton Ash, these are already having a significant effect. But Ukraine also needs weapons. Where are these going to come from? Now, according to the piece in The Guardian, it will be too tough to get the EU as a whole to agree to this kind of initiative. They'll need to come from the US. Garton Ash argues that this would actually be fair. European economies take most of the pain of sanctions since they have been more invested with Russia. They will provide a lot of the economic support Ukraine needs if it is to survive. And they are doing most of the diplomacy. In fact, McCain and Merkel make a perfect hard cop, soft cop combination. And finally, from The Independent, we get a perspective on how to deal with Putin. And Joan Smith doesn't mince words. Her piece reads, "President Putin is a dangerous psychopath. Reason is not going to work with him. Putin has been treated by world leaders as an authoritarian who will play by the rules." But Smith says, that's a big mistake. If history teaches us anything, it is that treating unstable psychopaths as if they are normal, reasonable people just doesn't work. So what is her solution? She says psychopaths love to feel important, so world leaders should not indulge Putin in this and not invite him to summits, all while keeping back channels open to people around him. So after Russia sent bombers just off the shores of Britain, he seems to have awoken the British media, who are now calling for world leaders to treat Putin as a figure who responds only to force. Join us again tomorrow for another press review. I'm Stephen Brees from the Ukraine Today newsroom in Kyiv.